You know, Vladimir Putin said something, one of the most interesting things. He said, your election was rigged because you have mail-in voting. He said mail-in voting, every election. He said no country has mail-in voting. It's impossible to have mail-in voting and have honest elections. And he said that to me. It was very interesting because we talked about 2020. He said, you won that election by so much. And that's how he got it. He said, and if you would have won, we wouldn't have had a war. You'd have all these millions of people alive now instead of dead. Vladimir Putin, smart guy, said you can't have an honest election with mail-in voting. And he said, there's not a country in the world that uses it now.
Yeah, Vladimir Putin said all that. Vladimir Putin was like, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, you won the election or whatever. And also, oh, if you were president, I would have been way too scared to invade Ukraine. That's what he did. And then he gave him a big sloppy kiss on his big sloppy butt. And that's definitely what happened in the summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. All of that was utterly ridiculous. But the important thing for Trump is something that adds momentum to his push to rig our elections, which, to be clear, is going forward at a much faster pace this week than ever before. But before we get to that, let's just briefly jump to a couple of issues. First of all, the idea that he would claim that Vladimir Putin, of all people, is the expert on how to run a free and fair and honest election is maddening. I'm not saying that Russia's got the most rigged elections in the world. I think North Korea and probably formerly Iraq has a better call for that, but it's pretty close though. And the thing that I love is Sean Hannity has to sit there, and he knows every bit of this. He knows that it is utterly ridiculous to claim that Vladimir Putin cares about free elections when he has wiped out, literally murdered his opposition figures, locked up heads of parties that he disagrees with, regularly wins more than 80% of the vote, no matter what happens. He just writes down whatever number he wants, maybe with auto pen, and he can't say anything. Sean Hannity can't say anything because if he does, that's it. His career is done. It's an utterly pathetic way to live your life, Sean. But anyway, so what he's doing now, Donald Trump, is he's taking, I guess, the support and the prodding of Putin, and he's gonna try to wipe out mail-in voting across America. He said that we're gonna start with an executive order. It's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country. No, it's not, they don't work for you. To end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt, which they're not and which he can't do. There's a lot of issues with this. One issue is the length of this Truth Social message. I read fantasy novels for pleasure, and I ain't reading that. I'm reading a book by Joe Abercrombie. It's 230,000 words. I'm not reading that whole thing. The idea that I'm gonna make you sit through it is an insult to America, and I won't stand for it. But I will jump to one important little lie in here, which is this. Remember, the states are merely an agent for the federal government in counting and tabulating the votes. They must do what the federal government, as represented by the President of the United States, tells them. No, they very much do not. As we have said over and over, and probably more importantly, constitutional scholars have said, I'll put myself on the same level as them, the states are in charge of the elections. That is why all of the claims that Joe Biden was going to rig the election somehow was ridiculous. Joe Biden didn't, nor did he attempt to have control over how states ran their elections. But Donald Trump is now saying, no, the federal government, forget that. I control what happens in the elections. All they are is my agent. And so if there's a type of voting that I've run the numbers, and I think Democrats use it more, in no small part because I tell Republicans it's corrupt and that they shouldn't do it, I can ban that entirely, which he 100% cannot. He has no power whatsoever to do that. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court is as corrupt as he is, and so who knows, maybe they uphold it. I could also remind you that every single analysis says that mail-in ballots are 100% reputable, and of course it's an utter lie that no country has them. 34 different countries worldwide allow mail-in ballots. Most European countries offer some form of it. 100 countries let their citizens vote by mail when living abroad. In the US, 28 states let voters request a mail ballot, and many have for literally decades already. 8 states and DC already send the ballot to everyone living in their state because it works and it encourages more people to actually participate, which is my goal, but obviously not Donald Trump's. And I will remind you, just in case you watch that full interview where Donald Trump lies about going in to hand in his ballot or whatever, he votes by mail too. Donald Trump votes by mail as he tells everyone else it's corrupt. Of course, bear in mind, he also said that it was corrupt in the run up to the 2024 election, which he won. So the Democrats, which used mail-in ballots to rig the election, forgot to do the rigging part, I guess. But it's still a convenient lie because it's not about protecting the elections. It's about manipulating the numbers leading into the midterms and 2028. And it obviously is illegal and unconstitutional to do this, Sabrina. But it looks like he's going to try to do it. All of those subtle, behind-the-scenes, corrupt ways that he was trying to influence them is not enough. Now they're doing the gerrymandering, and now they're also doing this. What do you think?
Trump is a liar. He's lying, and he's just going to say whatever words that he thinks that his audience wants to hear to further sow division. Yeah, I don't know why he's so against mail-in voting when he references Russia in this way as well. Like, they do have remote forms of voting. Like, they do have some forms of like mail-in voting and even online voting, which, is not that great because that is riggable. So he's just a liar. He just says what he thinks that his audience wants to hear. And I think that he's just using this as an opportunity to further praise Putin so that way he can lay the groundwork, so that way come 2028, it won't be as much of a surprise when he tries to cling to office.
Yeah, no, it's just to benefit himself, and he thinks it will benefit himself and Republicans. The funny thing is that it might not in every case, actually. Our producers were looking at some of the updated numbers on mail-in ballots, and they found, I'm gonna read this as soon as Google allows me back into my document. But anyway, they found that in 2024 in North Carolina, Republicans actually outpaced Democrats in mail ballots cast. It previously, just 4 years earlier, had been the opposite, but obviously many Republicans, including occasionally Donald Trump, told them, hey, actually, we're getting killed on this mail-in ballots. Could you please vote through that? And it worked, actually. They also got their advantage back in Arizona, which, by the way, has allowed mail ballots since literally the 1990s. In Pennsylvania, Republican share of mail-in ballots are up in 2024. And so it might actually end up hurting him because it seems like some of the elderly Republicans would like to vote this way, but I guess soon maybe they won't be able to. But let's end with this, because all the other stuff he's been doing to stop the elections, and obviously he's gonna be sending National Guard to different swing states. They're gonna be Atlanta. Just be prepared for that, everybody. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?